Donald Trump may have found out about the Pied Piper strategy. So I've seen this headline in the news, but I haven't really read into it. So let's see what's going on. Big dollar donors, including Donald Trump, fueled Kamala Harris's political rise in California. All right, let's see what this is all about. Asked last week if she believes President Donald Trump is a racist, California Senator Kamala Harris told The Root, "I don't think you can reach any other conclusion." Oh, cool. I mean, at least, hey, that's a better answer than Cory Booker gave. That's a better answer than Joe Biden gave. You know, an easier answer she could have given? Yes. She could have just said yes. That's what Bernie Sanders does. He just says, yeah, he is. But, you know, at least she gave a better answer than Cory Booker. Cory Booker said something like, oh, I don't think we know somebody's character. 30 years of behavior, that's not... look at discriminatory housing practices in the 70s, the way he called for the heads of 5 black people who were innocent of the murder in the newspaper in Central Park, and then never retracted that or apologized for it. Anyway. In 2018, the Trump White House accused Harris of supporting the animals of MS-13, a gang formed by Central American immigrants in Los Angeles. Earlier this decade, however, two weren't on such combative terms. In 2011 and again in 2013, Trump donated a total of $6,000 to Harris's campaign for California Attorney General. His daughter, Ivanka, also gave Harris $2,000 in 2014. The first donation from Trump for $5,000 in September 2011 came months after he had begun popping up on cable news, promoting a conspiracy theory that President Barack Obama was born in Kenya, not the United States. Something that's been widely condemned as racist. Once again, this should just say something that is racist. Like, this part of the sentence is not necessary. It should just say something that's racist. Like, what the hell? I remember I did this guy's podcast before. This guy, and man, was he ridiculous. He was so fucking ridiculous. And of course he edited all of this out because I think he realized how dumb he sounded and how ridiculous he sounded. But we were having this kind of conversation, and it was about, sort of issues of race, and I was like, yeah, well, and I forget how it started, but he brought up something that was just clearly racist, and I was like, well, yeah, that's called racism. Like, that's racist. That's what that is. And he's like, well, I don't know if you can call things racist. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, I mean, there's some people that they just think white people are better than everybody else. And I was like, you mean white supremacists? And he's like, well, I mean, they just think white people are better. And I was like, yeah, that's called white supremacy. Those are white supremacists. And he's like, well, I don't like to use those kind of terms. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? This guy was like the biggest apologist for racism. Older white guy. I'm sure I didn't even need to point that out. But, of course, he was an older white guy. It was just the most... He edited all that out. And I was just like, wow, you are such an apologist. You are such an apologist. It's unbelievable. He edited all that out. Anyway. This article reminds me of that dude. And I can see why people think like that guy. Because you have this bullshit apologist media for everything. In other countries, they call something racist when it's racist. That's what they do in other countries. Not here. We call stuff that's racist. Some would say it's racist. Oh, and stuff that isn't, that's what we call racist. If you criticize a right-wing government in Israel, that's apparently anti-Semitic and racist. But you can be Donald Trump. That's not racist. Anyway, so Harris campaign spokesman Ian Sams told McClatchy that Harris donated the $6,000 Trump had contributed to a nonprofit. That's nice, I guess. Since entering the Senate in 2017, Harris has parlayed a rising national profile into a potent grassroots donor base. According to this article, over the past 2 years, the Oakland native has raised 3/4 of her Senate money from small donors given less than $200. And her 2020 presidential campaign has All right, so apparently it's been a wave of small dollar donations. What this article doesn't point out is that it's a drop in the bucket compared to what Bernie has. If Kamala Harris's campaign is a grassroots-oriented campaign, then Walmart is a mom-and-pop company. Walmart's a small business if Kamala Harris's campaign is a grassroots-oriented campaign. And Trump used to give her money. Gee, I wonder why. If there's one thing Trump has always loved, it's seeing people in prison. And Kamala Harris, also a big fan of throwing people in prison. And I wouldn't be, hey man, if Trump was really smart, he'd give her money right now. He'd give her money now. I mean, although the Pied Piper strategy didn't work for his opponent, but it might work for him. It could work. He should give her money now. Try to make sure she's his opponent. Because then he's guaranteed another 4 years. Although I don't know if he wants the job. I don't think he ever really wanted to be president. So maybe he shouldn't do that. But there you go. Kamala Harris gets sketty over the idea of throwing people in prison. And then gets squeamish about the idea of giving people health care. By the way, she's not for Medicare for all. She's already backpedaled on it. And it was never believable in the first place because she said it when it was politically convenient for her to say it. Meanwhile, she did nothing to help the single-payer bill in her state of California. One of the many reasons California doesn't like her. They see through her. They know what she's about. But she did prove that you can make a presidential campaign commercial armed with nothing but a basic video editor and a Casio keyboard from 1995. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. An article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on?